lot of you know, Danny and I had a long time waiting, trying to have a child. And this is just a little miracle right here, and I'm so thankful. We went through a lot during those 6 years waiting for this child. I had a battle with cancer, and we lost our first child at 8 weeks. Went through several operations and infections, and then at the end of this 6 years, I was still going through things, and the doctor was wanting me to go through another medical procedure that would make us prolong it for another 6 months. So I had just gotten to the point where I was just so torn up inside, and it was just obsessing my life. And I needed to have peace. I needed to have peace of mind. I knew God can do anything. I know if He wanted us to have a child, we were going to have a child. But the everyday waiting and not knowing was just tearing me up. So I got to the point, I woke up one morning and I prayed, Lord, if it's not meant for Danny and us to have a child, if we can do more for your kingdom, just me and him, then let it be. But I said, if we are going to have a child, I pray that you'll let it happen and show me in some way. Well, the next day I developed another infection and went to the doctor, and on the way home, I just began to pray the most earnest prayer I've ever prayed. And I said, Lord, if Danny and I are to have a child, I pray that you'll answer this prayer tonight. I said, I pray that Brother Mitch Corder, who's a good praying pastor friend of ours in Orlando, Florida, I said, I haven't talked with him for like almost 2 years. And I said, Lord, I want him to call me tonight and give me a message, tell me what year I'm going to have this child. And either way, if he calls, I'm going to be rejoicing. If he doesn't call, then I'm going to know. But either way, before this night is over with, I'm going to have that peace that I need so bad, that peace of mind. So we got home that night, and the night was passing by, the phone would ring, and I would waiting to see if it was Brother Mitch. Please be Brother Mitch. Please be Brother Mitch. So about 9 o'clock that night, Danny called me. The phone rang, and Danny called me in there, and he says, Dee, Brother Mitch Corder's on the phone for you. And he says he needs to speak with you. And I just instantly began to weep. I mean, not just crying, I was weeping because I knew what was going on. Hadn't told Danny a thing. He didn't know what was going on. He thought I was probably going crazy, but I just began to weep. And I got on the phone, and he says, Dee, I've been in here in my study praying, and the Spirit is so strong. He said, I can't hardly take it, but the Lord has given me a message, and he said to call Dee Kramer and give her this message. He says, through all those times that you've been suffering, all those late nights and early mornings of pain and suffering that you've been through, He was right there with you. He saw that you held on to His hand and that you trusted in Him, and He was right there with you, and He knows what you went through. But He says to hold on, because this year, 1998, is the year of His favor. Praise the Lord. It was amazing. I was still weeping. I got off the phone and I started shouting and praising the Lord, and the Spirit was just all over me. I shouted till 12:30 that night. I got up and I was completely pain-free, completely healed. The Lord had touched me and healed me that very night. Praise the Lord. I told Danny what had happened. He was just amazed. We began to testify in concerts of what the Lord had done that night and of our coming child in 1998. We began to testify in faith, knowing that that baby was coming. And it wasn't but about 2 months later, I had gone to the doctor just for a routine checkup, and they called me at home the next day. And they said, Dee, you're 6 weeks pregnant, and you're due Christmas Day, 1998. Praise the Lord. So through all this that we went through, the Lord gave me a song. And when I lost my first child, it was the hardest thing I ever faced in my life. The hardest thing. But He ministered to me, and He says, when you were going through all those trials and troubles, you held on to me, and I saw that. I saw what you went through, and I was right there with you. And how many of you know what it's like to see your child, maybe your child plays baseball and he hits a home run, and you may lean over to the other parent and say, hey, that's my kid. That's my child over there. You know, you're so proud of him. And the Lord just began to show me that's how He feels about us when we make it through, when Satan's hitting us from every side, but we still trust Him. He looks over those pearly gates and He says, come over here, angels. Let me show you something. Look right down there. That's my child. Satan's throwing everything he can at them, but they're holding on to my hand and trusting in me. So listen to a song that the Lord gave me through all of this. Let it bless you like it did me.
Never known such pain in all her years, but now the nights were long and filled with tears. She lost the little one she carried in her womb, but through her tears she cried, "Dear Lord, I still have you." That's my child. The Father cries in heaven, that's my child. She has fought the fight and won. Though Satan raged against her, she held strong to my hand. All of heaven, come and see, this one belongs to me. That's my child. He walked into the home that he had shared with his wife of 40 years. He loved her so. He told himself, she's gone, how will I make it through? But through his tears he cried, "Dear Lord, I still have you." That's my child. The Father cries in heaven, that's my child. He has fought the fight